Hello! So now that we've created our character and some of the different elements for our game, it's time to actually start building the game. So we're going to go into Bloxels, we're going to tap Game Builder, and we're going to actually start right here where the game controller is to build a new game. So we're going to hit the plus sign, and it's going to open up this giant grid. Each of these squares is actually one of the black grids that we've been using to design our characters. Right now we're going to just walk through the different features of what you can adjust in here, and then in future videos we'll talk about the different things you can add. Now first of all, on this screen you can select any square you want to start with and make it so you can start up here in the corner or over here and pick a random spot. It's going to automatically take you, when you touch the square, to a board that has some green blocks on the bottom. These green blocks are terrain. These are things for your character to walk on. There's over here on the left this compass. If you tap that, it'll take you back to that giant grid. So you can see now my character's over here, and if I wanted to do the next board next to that, I just tap next to it. I'm going to go back to the grid and show you. So now I've got two boxes. Wherever your character is on this board by the time you're finished, that's where your character is going to start in the game. So you do want to make sure when you're all done designing your game that you select the right box for your character to start in. So we're going to go back to that box, and now we're going to look at some of the different menus in here. So you'll recognize over here on the right hand side the same things we've had for entering our characters and images. We'll get into those in our next video. Down here you'll see a button that says configure. We're going to tap that. And the first thing you'll see is there's this little stick figure thing. If you touch it, it'll actually bring up your different characters. This will allow you to change this little stick figure into whichever avatar you choose. So we're going to tap our little Red Riding Hood, and now we have little Red showing up in our game. Then next to that down here, so we've changed our characters. Next we have this little music note. We're going to tap it. And this allows us to choose what music we want to have playing in the background. So I'm going to turn the volume up so you can hear. So that's the music playing right now. And if we do a preview, you can hear there's different musics to choose. So I'm going to choose this one because it sounds very 8-bit game style. And then if we touch configure, we're going to go back, and you can see the music changed, but if we hit the play button, it actually allows us to test what we've got so far, and you can hear it's playing the music we chose, and then we have our character walking on the terrain. Now this terrain is not very pretty, so I'm going to pause up here and exit, and we're going to go to the next part of our menu, which is over here on the right bottom. It says decorate. So we're going to tap that, and this will allow us to add some different elements to our game. So right now we have the paintbrush, and this is going to allow us to take anything that's got a block, so in this case green blocks, and put whatever image we want there. Now we could choose still images from here, or we can choose animations. So a standard choice would be, of course, to do some grass with some dirt underneath it. And again, when we go in and test the game, you can see now this is what she's walking on. The funny thing about it that you can really have some fun with is this terrain. You've told the computer system or the Bloxels that this is terrain that's safe for your character to walk on. You can use anything you want in there. So if you want, you could have your character walking on bats and lava and other silly things. And she will be, and your character is able to walk just fine on lava because you had it because right now in our system those are listed as these green blocks that are over here. We've just put these images in them. So it's just kind of something fun. So if you want, you can make a very goofy looking world for your character. I'm going to switch this back to grass. Now the other thing that we have is this window pane. This is where you can add images in the background for your character to have. So we have that beautiful little house that we created for Little Red, so I'm going to add that in. And let's say, just for kicks and giggles, we'll add a flag over here. And you can quite honestly put things anywhere you want. So you don't have to be super specific about where you put it. And if you put something and you don't like it, there's an eraser over here on the right hand side. And you can just tap that and erase those items that you didn't want. And now when we go into our play mode, you can see the things that we put in the window pane. And I'm going to turn the volume down so you can hear me a little better. the things that we put in window pane, you can see appear as part of the background. So they're not things for her to interact with. They're just part of the background for her to walk past. So now we're going to pause. We're going to exit. And the last thing you've got is this picture right here, which is the backdrop picture. Now, I'm not going to do videos explaining how to create a backdrop. Once you've got this part down, you're welcome to go in and dink around with that. The backdrop is right here in the middle. This sky backdrop is already designed and built into the game, so we're going to tap that, and it adds these big blue sky with puffy clouds that's behind the entire section of the game. So now when we go in, as she moves, you've got sky and your different character and your different elements that you've added. And that's how we can start decorating our board. And now, just to show you, if we tap the little compass and it takes us back, we still can only see her, but we see her with the green grass underneath her, so we know what's in that box.